Tenzin Tsundue water sure na ga ta shuye ta for ta te mo boye ine ta khari ni gi do sure na ta chida khora after today ni handa phadu ta bol bisu ta ru ringa ani so gi gega gi thundu ta de gi thundu ani khachwe na ta ningje ne ba ani kale gyange gi ani ta da khasa cha de ra ta khran gi bebe gi ta de so la ya ani kale gya ba di ma dang re na 다 당차에도 이번에 다 개체도 내도 좀 하시면은 그랑 가두이네 랭귀바 하나씩 랭귀를 주신다는 게 하나씩 아니 하나씩 베베기 사진 전달해야 아니 좀 바꾸라는 그냥 사고 라이터 아니 하나씩 아니 랭귀바라는 액티비스트 딱 단답 봐도 딱 그런 게 있는데 딱 미제 나온 거야 소소파 육제라 아니 걔가 그런 게 된도 아니 탑재 증액이 미 강사 오늘 가라들이야 딱 밑에 떼서 넣는 거랑 넣어대. 단단 가도 딱 커피 쉬는 가도 베베지도 넣어야. 아니 땡지 뒤지라 넣어라. 딱 미야 이번에는 용타를 했으면 좋아요. 제가 그런게 랭귀지 좀 발라도 항상 딱 공부에 딱 다와 가벼래. 단하신 잠니 용래야. 아니 베베기 카브라지도 아니 딱 칼롭 나에다 단하신 랭귀지 좀 해다 되네지는 딱 정관나야 먹고 좋아. 딱 한다 장에 장제 요매다 포란기 로기 차와샤샤샤나 딱 나라들라 딱 이유 망보지다 완전 딱 망제라 아니 강바지 보다 뭐다지 보다 아니 원래기 딱 미제 약고 주나 딱이 미제 약고 저지오라 이네 포란기 미유디디 말에 포란기 미유 가스나라 강바다 뭐다다 아니 낭다 되기 그거는 코라 셈 나라 딱 하는 초거를 요거래 말에 포란기 미유다 포란기다 드림 라우라 티카레스나 소속이 개가 우리 된도라 아니 랭귀지 좀 뭐 요래나 니 아니 그런 게 시지다 아니 그런 게 다 교노리 지내나 가리네 다 어디 그런 게 지원 해서 다 동동 아니 배나 배지지 차샤나 다 덴지들라기 단다디 혹시나 되면서 다 백지 차샤나 또 배들아 다 할람 로 중이 누구래 다 디나래 한번 너무 잡샤다 나란 저기 나라야 삼로지 단나라 주다 준이슈여라 아니 도도도도 배도로 정한 이슈여라 단나시 백라 롤레라 타만이 숨지는 그 비슷한 거라 이내 프란두기 삼로당당 먼저 삼로방을 개봐 가지고 띵하나두기 셈발에 샤제라 아니 마오바 먼저기 미지비라 아니 소속이 잡에 들더라 디시 아니 김규 두베기 아니면 배지 제디 아니 먼저 비미지 개점을 해서 아니 다리 된지 준들라 대패여라 아니 미백 상보시 때니 아 마음방적이 디나려야 아니 말한다 마음방 이센자 계란 차대라 제장 권한 더보기 아니 제마 된데 터터래나 따딩한적이 레바다 아니 미유디 해서 아니 어두 주연이 아니 덴준에 계란 고토를 지리 두시다 나타 모도
아이스텔레 망보 쉬우여와 통두다 깨고에메요 다른데 예미야 텐진 춘두이 아니 그린데 참중라 페바 창말이야 연슈 파르숨 창말라 예센 윤에 가란지랑 야할때 살롱 징에 버게라는 야리 야라는 야리 무징이 되는데 아니 다른데 어리야 고교 나라 아니 믹세인데 미네소타야 용토베 내지 중송 참말이야 삼지다 다시데 슈와 같이 합지 머리 되게지 셔야디 맞은 게 시야기 예등의 벽에 가는 게 시야는 삼성. 저는 평소 벽으로 와. 이게 벽에 가면 향도 고구마를 넣고도 와 같이 이래. 샤워를 왜? 오, 앞에 쓰고졌어. 벽에 겹치에 내가 잠시 지어줘래. 이 벽에 나는 쉐비나 벽에 보고 그 벽에 고구마를 넣고도 와. 아니 인지나 쉐를. 나 인지나 쉐고래 벽에나 쉐고. 뭐네? 이제 벽에 나는 쉐비나 그냥 막는 그 고그래. 뭔가 고추를 왜? Is this? 인디래. 아? 제당하려야 어딘데 송송 아니 차상지 고구마 그 사기에 동게 망저 고그래 파도 수도 디살라지 고그래서 내 주팀 사부 슈베니 야디 인진하는 슈나마도 고구마를 쓰지 이제 수 제장 땡에 인진의 슈이 이네 땡에 레발르다 그냥서 그거 배부데 기면서 땡에 레발라 제마가데 용체 벽에 겹체 벽에 쉐베 갑라 녜 레발라 얘가 그냥 벽에 차장 고투비야지 땡에 레바지 그냥 두디 탐시 제스를 깔리 겹설 벽에랑 네 벽에 겹체 그냥 저 벽에 고투비야지 다 데이터를 랍데 오제레 기게레 믹스게 파마기 슉 겹체 그냥 저야 벽에 셴투나 벽에 밤에 벽에 겹어 차단지 아니 고투비야 안 캬즈 메네 두 벽에 겹투비야 근데기 배드 쉬우시는 거 자선 캬섬에 슉 겹어 레시제 디 통마 디지 준대 좀 아니 더 드링댕에 탄다 그 여급 모두기 아니 대 탄다 파르 덴드 직체니 디데지요 나 내주 가시 인사 수에 되리요 디 나타다 인지나 직슈이 디 슈리아가 조야 두두 제요 디 so I'll shift to English. How many of you all understand if I speak English? English? Yeah? Most of you? All of you? Right. Also, yeah, so I'm going to do this presentation in English. And firstly, what I'm going to tell you is, I'm going to tell you a story of a country. A country most of you have never seen. Yes, a country you have never seen. Some of your parents have seen, but some of your parents also have not seen Tibet. Yes. You've been to Tibet? Very good. There are some, but including my own generation, people of my age, they too have never been to Tibet. So I'm going to talk to you about this country. So I will take questions later. First, I will tell you the story of Tibet. So when I talk about Tibet, firstly, this is a country. It's a mysterious country. Mysterious because many people even today do not know about Tibet. It's a country many people cannot go. And many of your parents have escaped from that country and cannot go back. This is a country where our people, Minnesota has about maybe 2,000 or 3,000 Tibetans. But inside Tibet, there are 6 million Tibetans. 6 million Tibetans. That's the entire population of Tibet. But the problem is, that's a country where your parents belong to, where you are also a part of that country, but you cannot go. You have to ask for a visa, not from Tibet, not from His Holiness the Dalai Lama, not from Tibetan government. You have to ask for a visa from China. Yeah, if you have to go to Tibet, you have to ask for visa from China. And China is likely to say no. because your name is Tibetan, and they fear that you're going to either do a protest or show His Holiness the Dalai Lama's picture, or you will carry the Tibetan national flag. This is banned in Tibet. You cannot carry this. You cannot display the photograph of His Holiness the Dalai Lama in Tibet. So I'm going to tell you about that country. Now this country, if you actually Googled it, if you Googled it, it will look like this. Google Earth map, from satellite, it will look like this. It's such a massive, big country in the heart of Asia. And here, okay, so we have a bigger picture now. So if I impose on this the outline map, it will look like this. See, it's this big country. The Himalayas, I mean, you must have heard of Himalayas, yeah, in your textbooks. That Himalayas, it's from here, from the Karakoram mountains, and then see, Ladakh, Lahore Spiti, Kinnaur, Uttarakhand, Nepal, Sikkim here, Bhutan, Arunachal Pradesh, and then connecting to Burma. From here, right all across the Himalayas. Here is Pakistan, Afghanistan. All across this, on the other side is Tibet. It's that big country. It's 2.5 million square kilometers of land. You will not forget this, yeah? 2.5 million square kilometers of land. Okay, after this presentation, I'm going to ask questions to you. So, better, it is good if you remember numbers, names, terms. So remember things. After my talk, I'm going to ask questions to you. So look at this. This is where Tibet is. This land of Tibet, it's geographically around the world is the biggest plateau in the world. Tibet Plateau is the biggest plateau in the world. Now, some of you, the smaller ones, if you do not know what plateau is a land mass like this, like a table, rising above from rest of the land. At this height is 4,000 meters above sea level. It's that high, 4 kilometers up in the sky. From here, plains, once you come to Tibet, beyond the Himalayas, overall, this entire land rises 4,000 meters above sea level. Tibetan Plateau is 4 kilometers up in the sky. And it's one big geographic composite land. There, it's 9 months of winter. You have your winter in Minnesota, your winter is December, January, February, March, and then finish. But what? April? Okay, April. I'll give you April. But your winter is like 3 or 4 months. But in Tibet, it's 9 months of winter. Extremely hard. And great thing about this land is, do you see these dots, blue dots here? These are millions of lakes, fresh drinking water lakes. This kind of lakes. That's Tibet. That's our country. That's our country. That's Tibet. Anyone among the kids, please tell me, is there anyone who will actually know which mountain is this? What is this called? Yeah, tell me. Which? Okay, yeah, over there, you tell me. Which one? What is this called? Sorry? No, cheating. No, yeah, here you come. Mount Kailash. So this is called Mount Kailash in English, but in Tibetan, it's called Kangruchi. What is this called? Okay, I'm going to ask the question later, so you have to remember. You have to keep this word, Kangruchi. You know, this mountain peak is snow mountain. No one, see, look at this. No one has ever climbed on this. It's just not allowed. No Tibetan over there will allow. this mountain is worshipped by all different kind of religions, all different people. And they actually say that Mount Kailash is the center of the earth. Mount Kailash is the center of the earth. And people actually say the center of gravity runs through Mount Kailash. So Mount Kailash, many people, pilgrims from Hindus, Jains, Buddhists, they go there for pilgrimage. And one can go for Kora. Do you know what Kora is? Do you go for Kora around temple, around Gompa, Chote? Yeah, Kora. You can go for a Kora around this. It will take 3 days of continuous walking. 3 days. You can take rest. You can stay in a tent. But this Kora takes 3 days around Mount Kailash. Tibet landscape looks like this. There are prayer flags and there are snow mountains like this. Minnesota snow is just nothing. Your snow by tomorrow it will be melting and then it will go down to water. But snow in Tibet stays on, especially in the high up in the mountains, stays throughout the year. That kind of snow mountains. And then once the snow melts, you will see pasture land, grassland for kilometers together. Please switch off the light. You'll see the picture. Yeah. This kind of grassland. You know, you can drive or ride horses for days and days and you still do not come to the end of the road. Like this. What are these black ones? Yeah, yes. And these white ones? And sheep like hello, blue. Yeah, blue. Digare, dogi. Keep and they come oh, Tibetan masters. Yeah, Tibet. So these are tents. So these are actually Tibetan nomads. They live in mountains like this. Tibetans are the best horse riders in the world. Tibetans are the best horse riders in the world. If you don't believe me, look at this. Look at this. Tibetans, listen. Tibetans, at one point of time in history, Tibetans were the most brutal warriors in the world. Tibetans invaded Mongolia. Tibetans invaded China. Tibetans were so powerful. They were warriors at one point of time. So they used to ride horses, use bows and arrows, and later even use guns. So there was a point of time Tibetans were warriors. So we all actually belong to the warrior culture. Yes, we were warriors. Now of course we have become Buddhists and we are nice, yeah? But there was a point of time we were warriors and we created the biggest empire in Asia. Chinese were scared of us. Yes. If you look at the map, you will see that there is Great Wall of China. Great Wall of China was to protect China from Tibetans and Mongols and the Manchus. So there was a point of time we were militarily powerful. What is this? Yeah. Okay. Now, in English language, there is a problem. Many people say yak milk. Many people say yak milk. The problem is the yak is the male. The female of yak is called D. D-R-I. D. D-R-I. D is the female. Yak is the male. So it will be wrong in English to say yak milk. Yeah, it's funny. So you have to remember. What is the female of yak? I want everybody to say this. How do you spell D? Very good. Do not forget. I'm going to ask the question again. I'm going to come back to that. Now look at this. Look at the architecture. How do people build houses? Yeah? See, look at this. This is a very big, it's a massive temple, Gompa. Now this is built out of mud, wood and stones. No cement, no screws. Okay? And no iron and steel. Mud, wood, and stones. And particularly if you have picture of the Potala over there, you see, this is the biggest structure made of mud, wood, and stones. And this Potala palace was first built in 7th century. From 7th century, it's still standing there. And this Potala palace has 1,000 rooms in this. Potala palace, remember, Potala palace, that one over there. Potala palace has 1,000 rooms. This includes, listen, this includes a prison inside. There is a prison there. There is a monastery there. There is the government offices there. There is a school there. Children can actually go inside and study. There is a school there. There is a state treasury. All the gold and treasures of Tibet is kept in there. So so this is still standing. Even after Chinese attack, it is still standing. So you can look at this architecture of Tibet. It comes to this. So as I was saying, Tibetan nomads, they live on this kind of grassland, live in tents. Yeah? Now, tell me, what is this? Someone raise your hands and tell me. Yeah, that girl, tell me. What is this?
So this is where like all the studies of Buddhism is where.
Oh, very good. Any other? You, tell me.
Are they Buddhist scrolls?
Okay, good. So the same presentation, just as I'm doing today, I was doing this presentation in an American school in Washington D.C. There were 600 children, like of your age, 600 children, and I asked them, "What is this?" And one girl, small girl, she said, "I think it's part of a shopping mall." And then, listen. And then someone else said, "Maybe mattresses are rolled up and shut in that place." Okay. So then look at this. Then I said, "It's part of a library." I said, "It's part of a library." And they were so, "What? Library? But where are the books?" So then I showed them the next slide. I said, "Look at this." Yeah. So the Tibetan scriptures, they are all rolled up. I'm sure you all have peja, right? You have peja in your homes, right? So look at this. Tibetans, one thing that will make all of us proud is Tibetans are the people who have done the largest body of scholarship in the world. The largest body of scholarship and translation. There's no comparison to any literature in the world. The Tibetans have done. This script was adapted and created in 7th century AD. By then, most other languages were already created. The Chinese were there. There was the Greeks and Latin. There were the Brahmi and Pali and Devanagari in India. The Japanese, their own script. So many languages they were on, but there are still many languages who do not have script. But the Tibetans created the script in 7th century. And you know what the Tibetans did at that time? The king of Tibet brought together 100 smartest children in Tibet, and they were sent to India to study Buddhism. And out of that, many people died, many people couldn't return home. Only 7 children came back to Tibet. Only 7. Out of that, someone called Tenzin Tsundue, a great scholar, he was the one, what is the name? Tenzin Tsundue. He was the one who adapted Indian script called Brahmi. Indian script called Brahmi, and then he adapted the script. So from here you see Yagarketu, Arya, Manjushiri, Na Sama, Gidi, Pöketu, Papa Jambe, Yang, Tuntambe, Tuntambe, Yang. So you see, this is something that was created, adapted in 7th century. It's still here. And some people, as scholars say, that Tibetan script can be written in 120 different kind of scripts. Yes. So if actually, you do not know, so therefore you think like, come on. But look at the scholarship that had gone into this. So there was a point of time when our currency, the Tibetan currency, it's called sang. Okay. So you look at this, sang, sang, sang. So sang used to be the Tibetan currency, both in coins and in paper. We used to use the Tibetan script, this currency, and when Tibet was free and independent, we used to trade with Nepal, Bhutan, India, and also with China, using the currency. Now that we have lost the independence, we have no freedom and the right to use our currency. So our currency today is found in museums or in antique dealers. Because we have lost the freedom to use our own currency. And all of you use dollars? Yeah? In India, I use rupees. We are not able to use our own currency. Our currencies are found in museums. So now look at this. I'm going to tell you something very important. If we are not too careful, if we do not work hard to regain freedom for our country, then tomorrow there will be pictures of our faces in the museums, and people will say there was point of time, there were some people called Tibetans and they look like that. Yeah, so therefore now is the time to work for our country and regain freedom. Otherwise we may end up in museums like our currencies. What is this? Tibetan national flag. Okay, so I'll tell you something interesting about it. This Tibetan national flag was created in 1916. 1916 was the time when First World War was going on. Internationally, many countries were killing each other, they were fighting. At that time, Tibet was free and independent, and His Holiness the 13th Dalai Lama, this is the 14th Dalai Lama, the 13th Dalai Lama, under his leadership, he created the Tibetan currency, the Tibetan national flag, the Tibetan army, police, borders. He actually worked to recreate all these aspects of nation state as a country. What are the important things? So he did. So look at this national flag. This was there in 1916 when at the time most of the countries were not independent. They were under foreign occupation. Okay? So 1916. So you will not forget. Yeah? Later I'm going to ask questions about this. Now this crop here, what is this? The British crop called? No. Barley. It's barley. B-A-R-L-E-Y. Barley. So barley. Barley in Tibetan, mazu phuge nalo khalagre ne lagre, do lagre, ne do lagwa, ne tan do lagre. Barley is called ne or do in Tibetan. Now this particular ne is a very distinct one. The best quality of ne is called blue barley. Blue barley is considered one kind of a barley which is extremely nutritious and very tasty. And what do the Tibetans make out of that? We make tsampa, and then we add cha and butter, and we make, if we knead this with our hands, what do we get? We get pak, right? Yeah. And then sibe mandu. Yeah. So tsamba and pa, this is the staple food of the Tibetan. Yeah. So do you have tsamba at home? Sometimes. Yeah. Okay. So the difference between wheat and barley is wheat has much wheat. If you say in terms of its quality, in terms of its nutrition, barley is much, much better. Yeah? Now, this country of Tibet that I talked about, there was a tragedy. There was a big problem that happened in Tibet. Why? Because our neighbor, China, they invaded Tibet in 1949. Which year? 1949. China invaded Tibet, and when they first came in, they came out with these portraits of Mao Zedong, who was their national leader. So China and Tibet lived as neighboring countries. China on the other side, Tibetans on this side, and we had some trouble all the time, but it was never like this. They were invaded Tibet, and since 1949 up until today, Tibet is still under Chinese occupation. And therefore, your parents escaped from Tibet, or your parents were born in India, but their parents, your grandfathers and grandmothers, escaped Tibet, came to India, and today they cannot go back, and you also cannot go back. You have no freedom to live in Tibet. This is what has happened to Tibet. So because of that, then they were the Chinese leaders who came in, they displayed Chinese flags, not Tibetan flag, but Chinese flags to show their power. And then number of Tibetans, the Tibetans didn't keep silent. They didn't say, you do whatever they want. No, Tibetans resisted. We said, no, you go back to your own country. Why are you coming to our country? Yeah. So this happened, and then this continued, and then there was so much of death and destruction. Sangyeku, they were destroyed, and the jewelries and no, questions later. Questions later. I'm going to tell the story first, then we'll do the questions. So all this happened, and this resulted in His Holiness the Dalai Lama escaping Tibet, coming to India. Yeah. What is today's date?
April 1st.
Today. 1st of April? Now, listen. Okay, I get it. In 1959, which year? 1959, this happened. So, why I asked today's date is, today, in 1959, 1st of April was the first day when His Holiness the Dalai Lama not only arrived in India, escaping Tibet, coming to India, he saw the first day of freedom. His Holiness the Dalai Lama crossed Tibet and came to India on the 31st of March in 1959. And 1st of April was the first day when he could see the sun in a free country. Okay? This is my school. You have nice schools around here. I know, I've traveled around the US. But this is our school. This is TCV Patlikur. It's in Kulu Valley in North India. And you will see me here. This little boy over there, yeah, that's me. Go there. I was in 5th standard, and we were in the morning singing the Tibetan national anthem, and we were told by our teachers that we have lost the independence of our country, and we must educate ourselves, empower ourselves, physically strong, mentally powerful, and emotionally stable. If we have education, our teachers said that we can again regain freedom of our country, and we can go back to our country. So this is how I was inspired. Look at this. This is a picture of 1959, when His Holiness the Dalai Lama in Missouri gathered all the children together. Now, look at that picture very, very carefully. These children, most of them, they don't have shoes to wear. This is how your parents and grandparents worked, with no shoes to wear. And yet, they wanted to study. His Holiness the Dalai Lama said, we have to educate ourselves. We have to be connected to the international community. Our education can help us liberate our country. So, His Holiness the Dalai Lama brought all the children together and worked. What were the parents doing? most of the parents, when they first came from Tibet, they were, they are still wearing their chuba. Look at this little boy, still wearing chuba. Yeah? What were the parents doing? The parents were working on the road, breaking rocks and laying the road. They were doing coolies' job. And this is how they restarted their life in India, as coolies. And while they were working on the road like this, their children were sent to school to study. And that's how our community became successful. And this is my family. I am there. Yeah, this is my parents. This is my sister. This sister is still here. Where is she? Oh, there. Yeah, the one in. Yeah, that's my sister there. So this is our picture there. You see, we all went through this story together. His Holiness the Dalai Lama was 24 years only when he escaped from Tibet. Yeah. And then slowly we started our political activism. We started to say, we demand freedom for Tibet. This is one of my protests. I climb buildings and protest in this. I was getting arrested by these two Indian security. Yeah. But yeah, I've been to prison so many times. 16 times I've been to jail. Yeah, 16 times. One is it. And not only in India, but also in Tibet. I was in Lhasa jail for 3 months. Yes, I've seen Lhasa. So anyway, so in 1987, in Tibet, when the Tibetans were slowly getting more aware, they raised protest slogans. So this is a picture of 1987. Monk Tenzin was leading this protest rally in Tibet. And the Chinese were so unkind. They were so mean. They were using bullets, live bullets, and they killed many Tibetans. Yeah, and they continue to maintain their control. Look at this. Look at this. This is a Tibetan there, and this is how they are so dressed up in military fatigue, and they do this kind of marching. And then Tibetan children, they did a protest. These are school children in Amdo, Repung, in Amdo area. They were leading a protest. The reason is, listen to this reason. Listen to this very carefully. Listen to this very carefully. Why were the children going out to protest? Is because the Chinese government came out with this policy. They said Tibetan children must learn Chinese. What did they say? Yes. So they created a new policy. They said, look at this. It's a very clever policy. They said we are going to go bilingual policy. So every children, entire China and China's occupied countries, they were saying that children must have 2 languages. One, their mother tongue. Second, Chinese language. And then they started to teach Tibetan children Chinese language. So this is a picture, perhaps this is 2010 protests in Amdo Repong. And not only there, many other places in Tibet also children came up. They were not doing anything political, not anti-China or anything. They were saying, we have our right to study our language. So now the question is to you. When Tibetan children inside Tibet are forcibly taught Chinese, you have so much freedom to learn Tibetan, and you're not doing enough. Yeah? Yeah? So therefore, it is important that when you have freedom, you must learn your language. Learning Tibetan language will not take English away from you. See, the kind of English I speak, the kind of English I write, and I also have Tibetan. Yeah? And as kids, children of your age, you have capacity to learn 4 or 5 languages. So dealing with 2 languages is quite easy actually. Yeah? So this is the situation in Tibet today. Most of the time in the towns, the Chinese security, they go do this. And why are they doing this? Not because the Tibetans are against them or doing anything. They just want to show their muscle power. And they will say, it's a daily scene. It's a day-to-day scene. So Tibetan nomads, they live in tents like this, all made out of yak wool. yak hair woven into yarn, into thread, into strings, and then are woven and made into tents like this. The good thing about this kind of tent is whether it rains or snows, nothing happens inside. But this tent is so heavy. If you fold them, it's so heavy. So they take it into parts and then loaded them on the yaks and then they travel. So as nomads, they travel from one place to another. Look at this. It's a great scene there. But it is concerning that China is now cutting down trees from Tibet, taking them to China. China is mining. They are bombing mountains and mountains and mountains and lakes and then taking away natural resources from Tibet to China. They are making cheap made in China products and then they sell it to America. You see, so therefore, in the malls, in the shopping malls, you see most of the products are made in China. And China is able to make them cheap. America loves to buy something that is cheap because these natural resources, the gold and copper and bauxite, chromite, and especially lithium salt, much of that China is extracting from Tibet, and China's other occupied countries like East Turkestan, Southern Mongolia, make cheap made in China products, and then they sell it to Europe, America, and different other places. See, it's a daily. This is happening daily. Trucks and trucks load of natural resources are exported from Tibet, and then they are being taken to China. Then what's happening to the Tibetan nomads? Look at this. Tibetan nomads are now being settled into artificial houses like this. A nomad who used to go over the mountains and to the valleys and cover huge spaces of land are now being forced to sell their yaks and sheep, and they are being now told to live in a small house like this. So actually look at this. This kind of residential villages, new villages that have been created. This is actually quite similar to reservations that have been created for Native Americans in the United States and Canada. Native Americans are put in places like this. So this is happening in Tibet today. And therefore it is leading to self-immolations. Tibetans are protesting and they're burning themselves in this kind of protest. Now, when we talk about Tibet, it's not just being Tibetan, but Tibet as a land, the 2.5 million square kilometer of land is the biggest source of fresh drinking water. What is Tibet biggest source for? Fresh drinking water. And waters because of this, the snow fields all over Tibet, and also the snow in the Himalayas. Some of the biggest rivers, longest rivers in Asia originate from Tibet. See, Yellow River into China, Yangtze River, this is the biggest river in China, and then Mekong River, all the way from Tibet to Thailand, Laos, Cambodia, Vietnam, entering into South China Sea. And then Salween, Irrawaddy, Ganga, Brahmaputra, Indus, Satluj, all these rivers originate from Tibet, and rivers from Tibet feed 1.5 billion population in Asia. All these people from India, all these countries, they get water from Tibet. So you see, Tibet is such an important place. Yeah. When you study geography, you have heard of the Arctic Circle and the Antarctic Circle. They are the two poles. Yeah. What are the two poles? Antarctic and Arctic Circle. Yeah. These are storehouses of ice and snow. Now, Tibet, because of this important place of storehouse of water and of the snow, Tibet is often called the third pole. Yeah? The senior students, please remember, Tibet is called the third pole. Why? Because compared to Arctic Circle and the Antarctic Circle, Tibet is one place where there is mass amount of snow and ice. So therefore, Tibet is not just important for Tibetan people, but also for Asia and for globally for climate change that everybody is talking about, Tibet is such an important place. So today when we are saying China invaded us, we are not making a random accusation. There was a point of time when Tibet was independent. So this is a map. It's an old American map. So at that time when Tibet was free and independent, look at this. It's very clearly shown Tibet and China and India. See, Tibet was free and independent. It was recognized by America and many other countries. Today it is under Chinese occupation. So we must all know that in history there was a point of time when Tibet was free and independent. And today the situation is this. This is real China, and China has occupied Manchuria, southern Mongolia, East Turkestan, and Tibet. And when we look at this, we will see today's China is 9.6 million square kilometer of land. This entire space is 9.6 million square kilometer of land. But from there, if you actually take Manchuria, occupied country, Manchuria, southern Mongolia, East Turkestan, Tibet, if you actually cut them out, if you are left only with a red shade, which is real China, we will actually take 6.1 million square kilometer, which is 60% of China's landmass is occupied country. This is something we must know. And most of the countries, they will not talk about it, because they all want to be friends with China because they are buying cheap made in China products. So this is my presentation. Did you like it? Yeah. Okay. Now if you have questions, hold on. I am going to ask few questions and then I'll take your questions. Okay? So we're going to go back. I said something happened. So language makes a person. Language makes a person. And when you speak Tibetan, you become Tibetan. When I speak English, because of the nature of the language, I think in the way the English people do, or the Americans do. Yeah? So language defines people. So therefore it is important to think in Tibetan, to speak in Tibetan, and to read and write. So involving yourself in the language makes you Tibetan. So there are two things that gives you the identity. Whether there are Americans living in this country, or Chinese, or Japanese, or Indians, or Africans, see, this country has immigrants from so many different parts of the world, and all the immigrants, they are teaching their language to the children, just as your parents, your teachers, they are teaching Tibetan to you. So yeah, or Spanish, but here in this case Tibetan. So two things that give you the identity. One, the first mark of your identity is from your parents. That your parents are Tibetan, by blood you are Tibetan. By blood you are Tibetan. But the second part, which is the culture and language. Culture and language define you. Culture and language help you to define yourself. For example, if there is a Chinese here, and if the Chinese person eats tsamba, wears Tibetan dress, wears Tibetan tanga, the Chinese doesn't become Tibetan. Yeah. So to be Tibetan, firstly, your parents should be Tibetan. Secondly, it is your language and culture that define you. Yeah, you may be half Tibetan also. You are still Tibetan. Yeah, by blood. But the second part is the culture. Without the culture, it's difficult to call yourself Tibetan. So therefore, learning the language, having Tibetan culture in your mind. That's. And my last point today is the most important thing. When we say Tibetan culture, it is not just to say we are Tibetan, therefore Tibetan culture is important. No. Okay? Tibetan culture is important because Tibetan culture defines happiness by changing your mind. Tibetan culture says if you're more kind, if you're more patient, if you're more forgiving, if you're more generous, this can make you happy. Not in terms of material development. Not because you have more money you become happy. Or not because you have bigger car you become happy. Happiness in Tibetan culture comes from our way of defining ourselves by being more kind, compassionate, and patient. So this is the source of happiness in Tibetan culture, and therefore we are saying Tibetan culture is important. And this all the efforts, all the or your teachers, the organization leaders are trying to get you to get closer to Tibetan language and culture. So all this is all that I have to say. Thank you very much, everybody.
소소 파마 니자 있는다 파마 예지 있는다 버바 임바다 아니 가출에다 버베 나바로 지구 때마tam기 버바 책 말레스 파마 예지 파마 니자 하나씩 소소 기 릭숑 상마 아니 소소 소소 귤자통나 야고요레 디던달라 아니 지도 저거를 양란 넘버들에 파만들에 미개바 참에 갈래제 더다 미기도 되게 세신이다 예 düdü 전창 거대에 제 주변이나 어디에 총소하다 디매매니 굉장히 그 로지레 그것은 롱바 컨디션이래 안도 그게 아니 롱바 컨디션이래 산도 수주되어 되게 통로 장수 굉장히 레야고 잡송 제가 양아 저거는 이 장수 레 잡도시 제설랑 거다 좀 제가 아니 다 단다 칼로 리버 두베 담체 리바 두베 젤이야 안 단다 마음도 지금 저거 저도 좋네 아니 텐즈들이야 두지 치료기 이제 다시 그 인송도 디프 엔디젤이야 시리 견제가신 만나기 네 주동기 담체는 두지 나로나스이 근데 세라스도 되게
단단히 Tenzin Tsundue 지당이 단다 탭인데 카고스 디 좀차래 단다 탭 우아 나라니 단다 사슈 디디스라 벽에 돈에 나운디자 아니 nowhere to call home 아니 계시 스미에나 아니 단다 디젤이야 아니 정말스러 지스 어디서
DJ 다 Tenzin Tsundue 이번에 얘기로 벤제 미슈 자랑게라 게 멋인 거래. 다 이번에 나랑 메시지 주더라 보여 안 되러와. 지난게 됐다 말한 좀 가도 보시 반다 소소게 베베게 돈다 돈다 칼레로 테스트 결과래 이번에 덴지 춘두라 통으로 아니 나도 보시나 나랑 마시메 소리지 디안치 휴샤나서 그래서 나도 소소게 춘두 얘기를 되체 부니들 따도 제로 이제 파라파라라 나도 별번서 간도스나 부고들라 말하면 알아 토모들라 이라고 해요 이제 타만나 좀 숨지 뒤질라 내 돈을 넣어 먹었어 딜라 아니 타만 말이면 부고치도 해 갈래가 버려 로지라 킹징마도 요 말에 나랑도 있는 숨지 뒤질로 나가 진용매 미네소라 레바도 자아즈로 이 바로 오지스 이코마이도 말하는 거로 미네소라 레바도 랩체다 로 제가 96로 델레바이 거기 진용매 근데 가자 린 탐셰기 인양도 저러고 때 차도도 말아서 포마도 온거니까 지금 너무 이뻐나 다 숨지 되지는 용해라 바라보라 진짜인데 강해도 연구도 왔다 나랑도 gem버도 이거나 롯다 숨지 되는 타사들어 다 캘린더들 지금 마치 제가도 아니 지금 티도나 보고도 제제 나랑도 이번에 베케이션 게 이슈 지금 제마 숨지 되지는 것도 한번도 파마 메나 당원 내게 제스케요 말에 파마 임베제라 나도 배우고 제제 숨지도 인중지게 미망골레도 얘기 배주슈에 아니 지금 베케이션 해보는 베케이션 얘기 슈체 우즈 티제 가진 숨지도 제대 값은 가서 개침을 갖고서는 말아서 벽과 임바 소소 농범에 매번에 강에 거리요 봐 지요로 저 사람들 대게 나빠야 보시 차로도 최선데 이 쇼라 쇼저거지 아니 이제 타마도 고쳐놔야 되는데 그다음에 무슨 감사를 나가 좀 많이 해주세요. 내가 내게 나한테서 겨버리지. 이번에 나도 오늘 별게 줘래. 오늘 강에 먹고 통사로 와. 이번에 나게 미세디 텐즈 순두로 가고 체체들이 로당 제도요 말에 말한 거니 배주도 때때 제가 주어래. 이번에 텐즈 순두로 가네. 지금 내가 이만 킬로미터 나도 가보시나 바라바라 내가 이마지 내가 추스게 내가 지나가래 로카로 와. 텐즈 순두로 가네. 나다 자갈 좀 들리니 메모간지라 바스를 좀 꿈나기도 보러다 코랑기는 메모간지니 공부하지 들리고도 공부하지 단순히 상담나 오늘 항상 해도 그래도 아니 근데 이마저 다디 나도게 히말라야 그 뒤에 공부하지 페로 아니 나도 뒤만 바라바라라지 강서원체 지다쇼용체 지나로쇼 바가이나 오늘 사라야 보여 말에 리자고를 추게고를 강에 쇼조로 똑같이 공례체체 남고를 모티나로나 부제나원 주에